The building of the wall. Always there had been war between the Jotun and the Aesir. Between the Jotun, who would have destroyed the world and race of men, and the Aesir, who would protect the race of men and make the world more beautiful. There are many stories to be told about the Aesir, but the first one that should be told to you is the one about the building of their city. The Aesir had made their way up to the wall of a high mountain, and there they decided to build a city for themselves that the Jotun could never overthrow. The city they would call Asgard, which means the place of the Aesir. They would build it on a beautiful plain that was on top of the high mountain, and they wanted to raise round their city the highest and the strongest wall that had ever been built. Now one day, when they were beginning to build their halls and their palaces, a stranger came among them. Woden, the father of the gods, went and spoke to him. "What dost thou want on this mountain of the Aesir?" he asked the stranger. "I know it is in the mind of you," the stranger said. "They would build a city here. I cannot build palaces, but I can build walls that can never be overthrown. Let me build the wall around your city." "And how long will it take you to build a wall that will go around our city?" said the father. "A year, O Woden," said the stranger. Now Woden knew that if a great wall could be built around it, the gods would have to spend all their time defending the city. Asgard from the Jotun. And he knew that if Asgard were protected, he himself could go amongst men and teach them and help them. He thought that no payment the stranger could ask would be too much for this building of the wall. That day the stranger came to the council of the gods, and he swore that in a year he would have the great wall built. Odin then made the oath that the gods would give him what he asked in payment if the wall was finished to the last stone in a year from this day. The stranger went away and came back on the morrow. It was the first day of summer when he started to work, and he brought no one to help him except a single massive horse. Now the gods thought that this horse would do no more than drag blocks of stone for the building of the wall, but the horse did much more of this. He set the stones in their place, and he mortared them together. Day and night, and by light and dark, this horse worked, and soon a great wall was rising round the palaces that the gods themselves were building. "What reward will the stranger ask for the work he is doing?" the Aesir asked one another. Woden then went to the stranger. "We marvel at the work you and your horse are doing," he said, "and no one can doubt that the great wall of Asgard will be built up by the first day of summer. What reward do you claim? We would have it ready for you." The stranger turned from the work he was doing, leaving the great horse to pile up the blocks of stone. "O All-Father of the gods," he said, "O mighty Woden, the reward I shall ask for my work is the very sun and moon, Freya, who watches over the flowers and grasses, for my wife." Now when Woden heard this, he was terribly angered, for the price the stranger asked for this work was beyond all the prices. He went amongst the other Aesir who were then building their shining palaces within the great wall, and he told them what reward the stranger had asked. The gods said, "Without the sun and the moon, the world will wither," and the goddesses said, "Without Freya, all will be gloom inside Asgard." They would have let the wall remain unbuilt rather than let the stranger have the reward he claimed for building it. But one who was in the company of the Aesir spoke. He was Loki, blood brother of Odin. His father was the great wind giants. "Let the stranger build the wall around Asgard," Loki said. "I will find a way to make him give up the hard bargain he has made with the gods. Go to him and tell him that the wall must be finished by the first day of summer, and that if it is not finished to the last stone on that day, the price he asks will not be given to him." The Aesir then went to the stranger. They told him that if the last stone was not laid on the wall on the first day of the summer, not Sol or Mani, the sun and moon, nor Freya would be given him. And now they knew that the stranger was one of the Jotun. The Jotun and his great horse piled up the wall more quickly than before. At night, while the Jotun slept, the horse worked on, hauling up stones and laying them on the wall with his great forefeet. And day by day the wall around Asgard grew higher and higher and stronger and stronger. But the gods had no joy in seeing that great wall rising higher and higher around their palaces. The giant and his horse would finish the work by the first day of summer, and then he would take the sun, the moon, and Freya away with him. But Loki was not disturbed. He kept telling the other Aesir that he would find a way to prevent him from finishing his work, and thus he would make the giant forfeit this terrible price that he had led Odin to promise him. It was 3 days to summertime. All the hall was finished, except the massive gateway, and over this gateway a stone was still to be placed. The giant, before he went to sleep, bade his horse haul up a giant block of stone, so that they might put it above the gateway in the morning, and so finish the work 2 full days before summer. It happened to be a beautiful moonlit night. Svidulfar, the giant's great horse, was hauling the largest stone he had ever hauled, when he saw a little mare come galloping toward him. The great horse had never seen so pretty a little mare, and he looked upon her with surprise. "Svidulfar, slave," said the little mare to him, and went frisking past. Svidulfar put down the stone he was hauling, and called to the little mare. She came back to him. "Why do you call upon me, Svidulfar, slave?" "Because you have to work." "Why do you call me Svidulfar the slave?" said the great horse. "Because you have to work night and day for your master," said the little mare. "He keeps you working, never letting you enjoy yourself. You dare not leave that stone down and come and play with me." "Who told you I dare not do it?" said Svidulfar. "I know you daren't do it," said the little mare, and she kicked up her heels and ran across the moonlit meadow. Now the truth is that Svidulfar was quite tired of working day and night, and when he saw the little mare go galloping off, he became suddenly quite discontent. He left the stone he was hauling upon the ground, looked around, and he saw the little mare looking back at him, and he galloped after her. He did not catch up upon the little mare, as she went on swiftly before him. On she went over moonlit meadow, turning and looking back now and again at the great Svidulfar, who came heavily after her. Down the mountainside the mare went, and Svidulfar, who now rejoiced in his liberty, and in the freshness of the wind and in the smell of the flowers, still followed with her. With the morning's light there came near a cave, and the little mare went in it. They went through the cave, and Svidulfar hopped up on the little mare, and the two went wandering together. The little mare telling Svidulfar stories of the dwarves and the Alpha. They came to a grove, and they stayed together in it, the little mare playing so nicely that the great horse forgot all about the time passing. And while they were in the grove, the giant was going up and down, searching for his great horse. He had come to the wall in the morning, expect to put the stone over the gateway, and so finish his work. But the stone that was to be lifted up was not near. He called for Svidulfar, but his horse did not come. He went to search, and he searched all down the mountainside, and he searched as far across the earth as the realm of the Jotun, but he could not find Svidulfar. The gods saw the first day of summer come, and the gateway of the wall standing unfinished. They said to each other that if they were not finished by the evening, they need not give soul and money to the giant, nor the maiden Freya to be his wife. The hours of the summer day went past, and the giant did not raise the stone above the gateway, and in the evening he came before them. "Your work is not finished," said Odin. "You forced us to a hard bargain, and now we need not keep it with you. You shall not be given soul, you shall not be given Mani, nor the maiden Freya." "Only the wall I have built is so strong, I could tear it down," said the giant, and he tried to throw down one of the palaces, But the gods laid hands on him and thrust him outside the wall he had built. Go, and trouble Asgard no more, Woden commanded. Loki then returned to Asgard. He told the gods how he had transformed himself into a little mare and had led away Svittilfare, the giant's great horse. And the gods sat in their golden palaces behind the great wall and rejoiced that their city was now secure, and that no enemy could ever enter it or to overthrow it. But Woden, the father of the gods, as he sat upon his throne, was sad in his heart. Sad that the gods had gotten their wall built by a trick, that oaths had been broken and had been smashed, and that a blow had been stuck in the injustices in Asgard.